Well, Jasmy's price has pulled back about 24% over the last 24 hours, leaving many investors wondering what's going on. Of course, you have your typical YouTubers coming out and saying that this is a crash and that this is scary and all of this crazy shit that's unimportant. But at the end of the day, this is rather natural, it's healthy, it's expected, and it's kind of what needs to happen. And we're going to talk about all of that today. So I hope this video does give you a little bit of peace of mind. And so, of course, with that in mind, let's get into the video, shall we? So looking at Jasmy, what we can see is that yes, its price has finally started to cool down. On many different levels, many different planes, this was expected. At the end of the day, this was expected. Not only was this pullback expected, it's kind of all been expected, right? You guys know in the last video, we talked about the fact that Jasmy had just made the swing high down to the swing low. And I told you in the video, go watch the last Jasmy video. I said, look, if we're capable of clearing the 17 level to the upside, I would be expecting Jasmy to make a 1.618 Fibonacci extension to the upside, putting it around 2.5. Okay, 2.5 cents. That's what we said. And I said, once it hits the 1.618 level, the likelihood of a pullback or a cool down after that is pretty damn high because that's a pretty big extension. Look what happened. We cleared the 618 to 786 range. We work ourselves up, hit this 1.618 level around 2.5, come back down, back test support, hit it again, overextend over it, and then we get a pullback off of it again. That's exactly what we've been talking about. Now, not only is there, the Fibonacci structure on the shorter time frames, there's also the overall structural analysis of this thing on the shorter time frames. If we just go ahead and draw in these lows, you can see Jasmy was putting in an ascending structure to the top side at the top of a move. Those generally break to the downside and they will generally come back to back test previous points of support. That means that Jasmy easily could still be on track to come back down to 1.5, maybe even a little bit lower or maybe a little bit higher on 1.8, and then look to continue back to the upside. So even from a structural perspective, this losing of support is normal, and it's what almost always happens. Now, from a more macro perspective, we've even seen this on many more occasions, and the reason why is because we're in the macro 618 to 786 box still. Let's go all the way out to the daily charts, and what we're looking at is the Fibonacci retracements from this swing high all the way down to this swing low. So we're basically tracking the retracement back up to this 5-cent high, basically, okay? And what you can see here is that 618 to 786 level that we talked about in the last video is exactly where we are now. It's normal, expected, and healthy for any crypto at all to get some consolidation here, to get a cool down here, to get a pullback here in this level. Why? Because this is a very difficult level to break. And once it does inevitably break, which I believe it inevitably will break, we want to see it be able to get away from this level. We don't want to see a fake out above this and then a pullback below it, right? We don't want to see that happen. We want to see when the day comes that we're capable of breaking this 618 to 786 box that we stay above it. And the only way we stay above it is if the bulls can build up enough energy and momentum to maintain above it and continue upwards in the upward direction to hopefully clear not only just 5 cents, but maybe even get up to 10 cents, okay? And so considering the fact that we are getting a bit of a pullback right here, I'm not stressed. That's normal. It's just what is supposed to happen. We talked about it in the last video, and it's what's happening now. So the question you may now have is, okay, well then knowing that it's expected, knowing that it's normal, knowing that it's healthy, well, what should we do now? Well, there's three options, obviously. There's do nothing, which is never really a bad option. There's buy some, or there's short it, okay? Doing nothing, not the worst option right now because there's no clarity about what the market's really going to do. Shorting it, I think, is a bad idea. Now, the reason I think it's a bad idea is because, in my opinion, where we're at with Jasmy right now is that even if its price, let's go all the way back here, even if its price, boom, 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 even if its price does continue to pull back, I do believe we're going to see Jasmy establish a higher low and look to continue to the upside. Even if its price does pull all the way back to, 1.5 cents or 1 cent, I think we're going to build up that higher low and then look for a continuation. And if you're shorting in this, you're probably in a position where you're taking a much bigger risk than necessary. I wouldn't be shorting against the bull market personally, okay? Like I said, there are possibilities that you'll make gains. I just think it's a risky play. And I think Jasmy just going down and staying down is extremely unlikely. I think, again, the higher low being established and then a continuation is the most likely. And so because of that, I'm playing this. Okay, this is what I'm expecting or guessing is going to happen because at the all, and then they were all just guessing, right? But I'm going to play it based off of that guess, okay? And the way that I'm going to go about it is quite simply just dollar cost average and adjust me in good situations. You guys know I do literally all of my investing now based off of HD Algo, which is the indicator that myself and my company designed. I don't have time to read charts all day anymore. I don't have time to stare at charts. I quite simply just needed something to tell me when it's a good time to buy. And that's what HD Algo does. It tells you good time to buy and good time to get out. And that's what I base all my investing off of these days. And you can see it here, right? The DCA plus signal means it's a good time to dollar cost average in. And this is when I've been buying. I bought a little bit down here, of course, less than 1 cent. That was kind of right around when I first got introduced to Jasmy and learned about it, because I'm somewhat new here a little bit in the Jasmy scene. And then after that, I bought a little bit more right here around that 1.5 cent mark. And I mean, those buys are all doing extremely well. This one up here, I actually missed it a little bit. I was like maybe like a day and a half late or something like that. That one's up 200+%. This thing right here is up, 60%, and we're just getting the 1 hour DCA signal flashing for Jasmy now. And I do believe over time, even if its price does continue downwards, and even if we do see this continue to pull back, that this will have been a very good entry, and we're going to get even more entries to the downside as it does continue to the downside here. And so because of that, considering I am expecting to set the macro high or low, then look for a continuation. I did do my first little DCA on this dip now, then I am going to continue to DCA a little bit more as this thing does continue downwards, as we do get more DCA plus flashes. Now, you can use my link down in the description below. You will get 20% off for HG Algo if you do use it. We are going to call a close to that promo code really soon here. Like I said before, myself and my company designed it, and I do all my investing off of it, so take that as you will. But personally speaking, as I mentioned before, Jasmy is one of those ones that I think does have potential for, to be like that next big thing within the world of crypto, right? Like, every cycle we see certain cryptos kind of pop up, right? They go from being top 100 to top 50, top 50, top 20, top 20, top 10. And I think that things like Jasmy, things like Caspa, those are going to be the ones that are going to crack that top 20, crack that top 15, and do well. And of course, in these little moments like this, I do have the conviction to say that I am personally dollar cost averaging in, and I'm just going to kind of see what happens. Again, we did expect everything that's happened so far, and I do think that where we're going with this right now is probably going to be pretty damn close. So I will continue to update you as it does play out with Jasmy, and all I ask is that you do just like this video so more people see it, and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy it. But with that in mind, of course, I will see you all next time in another video. Peace out, everybody.